Nightreign is the Dark Souls of Elden Ring games. Never before this moment have I ever seen an Elden Ring game be so Souls-like that it's almost a direct copy of the Souls game, but this time it's a little bit different. An Elden Ring game that's so hard that even Elden Ring players are calling it too hard. Now, everybody thought Elden Ring 1 was pretty hard when it came out, but Elden Ring 2, that was even harder. But now that we're on Elden Ring 3 here, I mean, guys, what did you think was going to happen here? Oh shit, if you die in that mode, you die. A game so Souls-like that it's even got Dark Souls bosses in it. So we're going to go ahead and just review this. We're going to just talk about this game. People are saying there's problems with it. People are saying there's this and that. I think that is all pretty true, but it's still pretty damn good. However, I'm going to tear it all down in a few moments here. So, Elden Ring Nightreign, it's here. What could we say about it? How is it doing? How are we doing with it? How are people liking it? Well, I think we should start off by talking about what I think are some of the good things. The gameplay feels great. Usually these Elden Ring games, the gameplay feels awesome, but they add some new things like ultimate moves and things with the heroes. Takes a second to get used to, but, you know, works out pretty well. The characters are very cool. There's something for everybody. It's like Bleach. There's enough characters that you will probably relate to at least one or two of them. They're very, very good looking characters. And you can go talk to them. You can go just be like, yo, what's up, dude? They have personality. They have a new linear leveling system that is, now I like it. I don't hate it, but I would prefer the original, but you know, it's like whatever. The world is always randomly generated to an extent. I'll talk more about that later. The boss variety is very nice. Unless you're stuck on Gladius for 10 hours. You're just gonna be fighting Morgott and a demi-human queen for 10 hours, and it's gonna get a little boring. But once you do that, all of the bosses will come, and you'll be able to fight everything, all of your favorite Elden Ring characters. And most of the bosses in the game will have a few new moves to mix it up a little, so it's gonna feel new. It's gonna feel kind of new, but like familiar. Yeah, it's gonna be like seeing an old friend, and they have a new talent, you know what I mean? I think the main 8 bosses of the game are really well-made bosses for the most part. I mean, some of them are like, but I like them a lot. I think they're very interesting. Some of them are much cooler than others, I will say, but they're all pretty solid bosses for the most part. A little hard, very difficult, but you know, it's the Dark Souls of Elden Ring games. I mean, listen, what did you think was gonna happen? But now let's talk about the bad things. So my first gripe with this game is that the character customization isn't really that intuitive. Like, they have these gems that you get at the end of every expedition, and they do certain things. Some of them give you stone sword keys, some of them give you like attributes for specific weapon types, and I mean, it's like cool, but I don't really care about it that much. You can definitely try to craft a build around it, but you know, everything's random. Sometimes you won't get what you're looking for. It's like alright, but I feel like it could be tweaked and made better. Another thing I don't really like about this game is that the lore really feels like an afterthought, because when you start the game, they tell you that this is during the Shattering and in between Elden Ring and whatever happened before Elden Ring, but then, you know, it doesn't really do anything else with it. It just says that there's a Night Lord, and I guess that's how they justify Morgott hanging out, and I guess Godric before he was, or well, I mean, he's still grafted. Maybe it's Godfroy, you know, I don't know, who knows? But, you know, I mean, but that's just like a gripe. That's not really that important to the core gameplay. I don't know, it's just a thought. I thought that they could have made something better. I just hope that all 8 of these bosses weren't originally for a DLC that they scrapped for this game, because that's gonna really hurt me. And that leads directly into my next thing, is that this really could have been a DLC if they wanted to. Like, yeah, the controls are different, but it's really the same engine and the same assets and the same everything. Just different, you know, it has ultimates and a different running style and things. So it really could have been a DLC like game mode if they wanted to. And I mean, it's the same price that Elden Ring 2 was, so I guess it's fine. Could have just been the same game, you know what I'm saying? I think the Storm, or the Nightreign, I guess is what it's called, moves way too fast, and there's not really a timer that tells you when it's gonna move. The longer you play, like, you get a feeling of when it's good. Like, it's obvious when it should happen, but then it comes really fast. Like, there's so many things and boss fights that I have just been in the middle of and that I cannot complete because another thing on top of the storm moving too fast is that the damage you do never really feels good. Like on most smaller enemies and smaller field bosses, it's fine and you'll be able to do a significant amount of damage, but on some of the tougher bosses, I've never been able to do the yellow bar on the boss unless I use like my ultimate or something. So it doesn't feel that good to fight some of the tougher bosses because you never do more than 100 something damage in this game unless you get high enough level. And then by the time you get to the high enough level, you're already pretty much fighting the Night Lord, and then the run's over, and then you're back and you start over. So it never really feels that good in the early or mid or late game to fight the tougher bosses because it just sort of feels like you're just a wimp the whole time. I don't know if that's just a skill issue with me though. I'm usually like level 12 by the time that I end a run, so I don't know, I could just be a fool. The upgrade system kind of feels like a waste of time. Just you have to like go out of your way and get the one thing to upgrade your weapon to purple because they have the Fortnite rarity, because everything with a zone that closes needs to have rarity like that for some reason. Now we got to talk about the revive system because it's fucked. Now here's the thing. If you get downed once, you only get the 1 bar, and that's completely manageable. The 2 bars is pretty manageable. But if you get down, you have 3 bars, it's like you might as well just let your teammates kill the boss without you because it's going to be so hard to get you up. And the way that it regenerates is just fucked up. Like, that shit hurts. It kind of makes it way too hard. And I'm not saying that the game should be easier, but it's already hard enough that they could do this for us. Like, the fact that it can recharge faster than your stamina can in order to actually get your friend up is kind of bullshit. But I guess that's like the point, to like incentivize not going down. I don't know, just a thought. The revive system needs some work. It's like there, but they need to tweak. Maybe the regeneration of the purple ring. I don't know, something like that. And the random generation is like diet random generation because each Night Lord has a set amount of like things that can spawn. They each have a different pool that they take from, and usually it's like the same 4 or 5 different things you see. Like, you're gonna see a camp, or you're gonna see a castle, and there's always the big castle in the middle of the map, and sometimes there's a volcano, sometimes there's mountains. You can run into evil clones of yourselves for some reason. There's churches where you get flasks. There's bigger churches that just have bosses in them. The shape of it is usually the same. The terrain and the height difference is kind of the same usually, so it's like diet random generated. I kind of want it to be a little more randomly generated. And now I'm gonna make a controversial opinion right now. I don't think the Dark Souls bosses should be in this game. Now, I think they originally put the Dark Souls bosses in here just to nostalgia bait people because they realized there's not that much in the game to allure people. I think they totally would have been fine if they didn't have the Dark Souls bosses just thrown in here, but there's only 6 of them. They have 2 from each Dark Souls game in there, from 1, 2, and 3, and I feel like it's just lazy. And if it's just 6 Dark Souls bosses, I feel like they could have just added fucking anything at this point. Like, put Ishin Sword Saint in there. Either do more with it or just don't have them in the game at all. It's kind of like weird. And also they're like the easiest bosses to fight because they're Dark Souls bosses. So I think it's kind of stupid that they're in the game. I don't know. It's just like a nostalgia bait. Like, I mean, that's what it is, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, it's nice. It's nice to see them, but it's it's like whatever. My final gripe with this game, that I'm gonna tie it back to the beginning, like a pro. This game is so Dark Souls that it decided to have the longest run back in the Souls series, in any of these games. Think about it. You gotta play 40 minutes just to go and fight any of these 8 motherfuckers. You want to try again? Too bad. Get fucking going. Longest run back, baby. This is the reason that I say that Nightreign is the Dark Souls of Elden Ring games. In Elden Ring, they just put the fucking bonfire right outside the boss room. You can try 20 times in an hour. If you want to try 20 times in this game, you're going to have to wait 20 hours. I mean, it's just that simple. It's just that Dark Souls, and that is why I'm giving the game a 6 out of 10. It needs some work. It's a lot of fun. It's a great time, but it definitely needs some work. Maybe if they added an Ishin Sword Saint and a Ludwig duo fight, then I'd really be happy with the game.